Okay, you can go on my Facebook and immediately share. Make sure that your Facebook has got public viewing. So namaste everybody. I'm Dr. Anu Mehta. I bring for you beautiful two doctors, Dr. Rashmi Arora and Dr. Sumita Mendirata. Sumita is a child specialist. Dr. Rashmi Arora is a homeopath doctor, and I am the jack of many trades. Okay, so some of you know me, some of you don't. I am the pioneer in the field of meta health and advanced clearing energetics, matrix re-imprinting, and many other things in India. I work on emotional level for people, and I try bringing up today a topic which is not easy to digest, not easy for you to sit down and appreciate. But what's the point of doing things that you anyway are so easily in excess with? So over to Dr. Rashmi Arora, if you could kindly introduce yourself. Thank you so much. You are
Sorry,
muted, Dr. Rashmi
sorry,
Arora.
yeah. Thank you, Anu, and namaste, everybody. I'm Dr. Rashmi Arora from Delhi. I am a homeopathic doctor practicing in NCT Delhi, and I am an NLP practitioner, a mental health trainer, and many more modalities. And that's it. Today, we are discussing a very challenging topic, which I'm sure will pop up. I mean, pop up things in everybody's mind. Thank you.
Wonderful. So over to Sumita Mendirata. She is one of my absolute favorites. To let you know, I know her for the last 10 years and she just never ceases to amaze me with her knowledge and with her compassion. Over to Sumita.
Thank you, Anu. Happy Republic Day to all of us. And on this note, this is my introduction. Is I'm Sumita Mendirata, and thank you for making me a doctor. So still, I'm would definitely go to become a doctor if you have made me so. And right now, I'm a consultant clinical psychologist and counselor, and I'm also practicing a lot of other modalities. Like I'm practitioner to EFT, I'm practitioner to matrix re-imprinting. I'm a read-on therapist, and this is a wonderful topic, Anu, which you have brought up. I think it's close to everyone's heart. And thank you for inviting me to be on this platform.
You're always welcome, Sumita. So let me open up the intimacy topic for you. Somewhere we have always looked at intimacy and thought and given it a negative shade. Like almost if I was to look at the shade spectrum and the colors, people would come up with the gray and the black. There's a lot of secret, there's a lot of hiding around it, there's a lot of understanding that, oh my God, intimacy के बारे में बात कैसे करनी. Often it has struck me, and this also next to the Carter Road of Mumbai. कितने लोग हैं जो कार्टर रोड जाके वहां खड़े होके देखा है उन्होंने. You know, you find these beautiful couples sitting behind the stones and kuchikoing with each other. From very far place where I'm sitting in my car, I'm watching that and I'm saying, बेचारों के पास जगह नहीं है. पुलिस उनको पकड़ के ले जाती है. और उसके बदले I saw somewhere a man dragging his wife with his hair, with her hair, pulling her on the road, and people just stood there watching. The way they looked at the whole thing was very different. And no police came and picked him up and put him in the jail. That really made me ask myself, why are we so differently connected? Rashmi, it would be very nice if you could put your camera on and your audio on. Thank you. So I would like both of you, Sumita and Rashmi, to throw a little bit of light on this. I'm sure you've also witnessed a lot of things in your life. And if you can drop your views over here, um, from where I just began. Thank you so much, Sumita.
Okay. So for me, like Anu, what examples you gave, like two incidents, what you had mentioned, I felt there was touch. So when we take the word intimate, it is something connected to touch, something where you are touching the other person, something where you are, touching those boundaries, those physical boundaries coming, making a connection. So these two events were making a connection, but for one, it was a connection made out of love, and somewhere other one was a negative connection. So intimate definitely means making a connection to the other person. Now for us, most of us, intimacy is more of a, a physical thing, and the first thing what comes to all of us is sexual intimacy or a love making connection. But intimacy for me is more of an emotional intimacy, more of an emotional connection, and that can be between any two people on earth. It can be between a mother and a child, it can be between a brother and a sister. Anywhere that intimacy connection, that connection is very important. Because like for me, even if I have a girl in my house, like my staff, my anybody who's helping, anybody who's coming in connection with me needs to have that connection, that rapport. So for me, intimacy is really not like, just a physical touch, even if that person is far away, but that rapport building is very important. So that's my viewpoint about, being intimate to a person.
That's such a beautiful, such a level-headed approach to it. So, Rashmi, what do you think is
Thank you.
intimacy, and how would you describe it? And
Anu,
people on Facebook, if you think you can contribute, write down in the section, what do you think is intimacy? Let's have a discussion. Yes, Rashmi.
see, intimacy, according to me, Anu, just as Sumita said, it's a connection. I would go a bit ahead and say it's a communication. We communicate. We animals are born to communicate. Even plants are born to communicate, but we have movement to communicate. So we can move towards that other person and communicate. Intimacy comes from an older word known as intimate. It's from an old medieval English, which is called, I think it's called impress, to impress. So when do we impress people? We impress people when we want to communicate with them. We don't go and impress those people whom we don't want to communicate. For example, with animals also, if we have a pet at home, we communicate with that pet. We touch it, we cuddle it. So it doesn't mean that we are. It has a negative connotation attached to it. It has a very positive connotation attached to it, that we are trying to impress and communicate to that person, to that pet. So if we bring it to a person at home, be it a lover, be it a child, be it anybody, it's intimacy by bringing into the very first level of communication, which is touch. And then come the other level of communications, which are verbal, which are body language and other things. So,
Thank you so much, Rashmi.
thank you.
सोच के देखिए, think again. Why is it that something so innocent, something so required, something with communication, something as Rashmi said is about creating impressions, something as Sumita said is not just about physical proximity, it's beyond that. Why do we make it so dirty? So let's have the view from Sumita. Why do we make it so dirty? Why do we make it such a taboo? The minute I said intimacy, everybody goes, "पता नहीं मैंने ऐसा क्या कह दिया?" Why?
Because that is the belief. I know, like I always feel, we carry a lot of cultural values, belief systems, inherent, between all of us. It's so much that thing that the moment it says, the word intimate itself, like I said, everybody has a different perspective. For me it was different, but most of us, just the word association which comes is something sexual, something which is, connected with a touch. And touch is like not, and then the moment touch comes, we try to segregate between good touch and bad touch, because we have to teach our children about, preventing themselves, so I feel it's okay, we teach the children about bad touch, but at the same time, if you are giving a lot more information about good touch, I think that fear of bad touch is not going to come into their minds. We have only instilled, though prevention is always better than making it, like we know abuse is happening day in and day out in our all over the world. So we need to give them that information, but I always feel information given is a little bit, and positivity around is more, then that information is not in a fearful way. It's more about connecting them to touch. It's okay to touch. Like in COVID times, I think we all have gone so much about touch and social distancing that we are really fearful to touch our own people. The moment a household has a person saying COVID positive, how we make them isolated. So where are we getting the intimacy issue? It's more about fear of getting intimate rather than the real intimacy, what we are talking about. And a lot of times when I meet my clients, and even in the virtual world, so they all come up with these issues, like they have a fear, they want to avoid people, just not because of COVID, they generally avoid that. So I feel intimacy is something which really needs to being made aware about it. And right, that has to start from the childhood. If you allow your child to, it's okay. Like I always, my daughter, when she grew up, I always had helps around, and it was okay for, if the obviously when I have a help at home, she would just touch my daughter, or play with her. But I've seen a lot of moms, they'll have the help, but they will not allow the help to touch her or do no this. How can you do? After all, she's a human being, she's staying with you. You have to have that much faith with your this thing. And I always used to tell all my helpers that if I trust you, that I leave my daughter with you, imagine the amount of trust. And that would just give them that power. Or actually, I got this information from one of my helpers only, that madam, when you said this line to us, it made me so much affectionate towards your daughter and towards you, that I felt that, oh, this is, you're trusting me. So I feel intimacy is all about trust. If you trust somebody, you will definitely get in touch with that person.
So
That's
let's
my view.
speak about what Sumita is saying is so beautiful. And again, bringing back two controversial points that she picked up. One is she spoke about intimacy and connected it with abuse. Somewhere, good touch, bad touch. And she also spoke about trust. So the trust and abuse are that absolutely opposite words. And yet they seem to be kind of being connected in the same story, because when you trust someone, you will allow that person to be with your jigar ka tukda, your child. And yet if you don't trust someone, then intimacy cannot come in. So I think the first step for anything would be trust, in how Sumita is saying. Very well said. Rashmi, how would you say?
Absolutely, Anu. Uh, this I would say that this is a spectrum between trust and distrust. We keep on jumping between the spectrum. One end we are at the distrust end, and at the other end we are at the trust end. So when we are trusting somebody, we are also distrusting. Like Sumita said, some people do that. They would not trust their helper to help. I mean, to touch the child. So that is a distrust. And this trust has come down from ages, from conditioning. This conditioning has not been done now. It must have taken about, I think, 800 900 years to come to this level now. Because when we go back to our times, when we were being raised as children, we were different. But when we are raising our children nowadays, the first thing comes: should we trust them? Should we trust the other person with them or not? But I find it that our parents were not so skeptical as we are today. So even their parents must have been a bit. We are more. They must have been more ahead than us. So this conditioning may have come in our country because of invasions. In other countries, they must have had their own set of problems with them. But
Right.
the actual why we are moving towards more of a distrust is because we are rejecting things. And rejection is more of um, now what we are doing is we are rejecting smaller things also in life. Like, for example, I had a patient yesterday and she called me up and she said, these blood levels are higher. I said, how come? So she said, no, the lab guy told me that they are higher. I said, wait, they are normal for this age group. So then she came back. So before that, she was not even trusting the report.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashmi, for that. And we have a new guest, Dr. Archana. And I saw you walking and moving and reaching us. It would be nice if you can unmute yourself. And she's again a homeopath doctor who is very much in Delhi. And thank you so much for being here. Namaste.
Namaste, Anu.
Please introduce yourself. And we were talking about intimacy. And so far, what we've covered is so let me ask you to introduce yourself and to introduce intimacy in your words. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Archana Kumar from Delhi. And first of all, congratulations to everyone for the Ganatantra Divas celebration. And yes, intimacy.
Ganatantra Divas, because our
Republic Day. Republic Day celebration. Sorry. No. It's a pleasure here. And yes, intimacy. You know, it's not just the sexual part of it. It's not just that. I think for me,
you for a minute, how beautiful all of us picked up the sexual bit of said it
exactly. No.
is it's not the sexual bit. It means all of you are thinking it's a sexual bit, but I'm telling you it's not the sexual thing. Go on.
Yes, Anu, but yes, because normally when we talk about being intimate, you know, it's taken or it's an understood thing that it is the sexual part of intimacy. I feel intimacy can be the beautiful relation between two friends or a mother and child. It can be the most beautiful, intimate relationship. I mean, I take it like that. And yes, sexual part is the, I think, most beautiful part about it. Definitely.
Thank you. I think this opens up a new stream of understanding. Sumita, would you say that sex is beautiful?
Definitely, Anu, because that's a part of our life.
Can you explain how is beautiful?
It's a connection, Anu, and I feel that any connection, when it is made, you know, out of a very basic, it's a basic kind of a need of a human body, you know. So it's what it's making is a, you know, creation. It's creating something, you know. So and it's a connection and it's procreating. So why not? It is beautiful. Why we always consider, you know, though it is considered taboo to talk about it, you know, people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to do it, but there are a lot of things which are being done around it, you know, which are absolutely fine. But to discuss, you know, like as a parent, when I tell other parents, or when we have a discussion about, you know, with my friends, what age to give sex education to your child, people at even 17 and 16, their kids would have turned, and they are really hesitant as moms to talk to their child. They don't want to. They said, we never got it, we got it, and they will also get it. Why to give information? You know, what is there to give information? They will learn it. So I always tell them that I always feel that before you get married and before you have a child, you know, there should be 2 diploma courses which every girl and boy should undergo. To certification. When we talk about certifications, let's do this kind of a certification, because people just enter into a relationship and then just, you know, get child in their word without having, you know, that basic information or connection in their brain, that how they're going to go about it. They just enter it without knowing what's going to happen. We don't even buy a cloth, or we don't even buy.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Sumita, in today's time, this course has to start very early in life, sweetheart.
Yes,
it really has to start very early in life.
True.
Menses start when kids are in fifth grade.
8th. Yeah, and now the age is almost
exactly.
8 to 9 years.
8 to 9 years. So
yes,
I think that's just the time when we should actually let the girls know about everything. I personally feel that I have 2 daughters and I have probably shared everything with them.
Yes.
Not, you know, probably sexual poses, but probably everything else. And these days, the audiovisual media is so strong that the children come up and tell you things at times. You know,
Yes,
I
yes,
actually used a word a few days ago, and both my daughters were like, Mom, it was just four of us. Please don't use this word publicly. I said, why? Then, Mom, it doesn't mean what you're thinking it means. It means way beyond that. I was like, okay, fine. So it's actually
Yeah.
like that. It's actually like that.
They have a
Thank,
lot of information. Yes.
Oh, they do. They do. You know,
thank you.
we want to live in the denial actually. कि हमारे बच्चों को ना, they don't know anything. You know, it's so
Yeah.
easy for a mother to live in a denial. My child doesn't know anything. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't go out anywhere. I remember my elder one when she was in class, I think 10th, ninth or 10th. And she wanted a permission for a night party. And I was like, why are you doing this? And you know, you're too young. And she was like, Mom, kids do drugs, kids do so many things. I'm coming straight forward to you, telling I know where I'm going, and I'm telling you I will not do all this. I don't indulge in it. That was the first time that I realized, okay, fine, let's be as plain as you want it to be. And that day
Yeah.
till today, things have been very different in my house, Sumit.
Thank you,
Very different.
Definitely.
Dr. Sumita. Thank you, Dr. Archana. Rashmi. So, what has sex got to do with intimacy? That's where we were right now. And there will be various thoughts of school where somebody will say, yes, we must tell, this is the right age and that's the right age. To be really honest, there is a person, she's a beautiful counselor and she's a sex educator. Her name is Niyati Ensha, and she talks about how basically education begins not at 9 or 10, it begins in the womb. And I will quote and unquote her a little later, but we're not here talking about sex education, guys. We're talking here about intimacy and somewhere the sex came up in the whole story. And I often wonder, why do we bring just sex? That's the first thing that comes up, because Ashna said, oh, I'm not talking about sex. That means I'm talking about sex. So Rashmi, your views on it?
Anu, I would say sex and intimacy are two different things.
Okay.
Sex means sex in the regular language. We have made it a regular language, but sex actually means a discrimination between a female part and a male part. What we are talking about right now is intercourse.
Okay.
And
Really?
intercourse is again a communication.
Okay.
Sex is not a communication.
Okay.
Okay, so we have made it. It's being sex. So what I feel is, in India there have been times when in India we have Khajuraho temples and other things like this, where sex education was given to children or people or the citizens of that state, long way ahead, because the king at that time felt that sex education was not right. And now 800 years, I think that was 1200 or 1100 AD, and after those so many years, we are we have come back again to that level where sex education should be introduced. What is right, how a touch is right, how a touch is okay, we everybody can perceive, most of us can perceive what a touch is wrong when a person has a wrong intention. We are taught to do so. But when it is a touch has a right intention, we have not been taught what is the right intention of a touch. It's like a touch between a father and a daughter, a mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter, or a mother and a son, or between two people. Had this touch not been actually, had this intimacy not been there, then what would have been? It would, the basic ova and the sperm also come and touch each other.
You
And
know,
then forms.
I'm so amazed, guys. The minute I said intimacy, sex walked in. And then explanations of why sex it is and why it is not. Can I really explain what I was looking for?
Okay.
I don't like the word as it's mentioned, sex, because it has got various meanings. And if you turn the word around, I've always looked at the word like this, and I will share it with you guys. I hope you guys got it. It's the X factor in your life. How many people left you and went and used you? I wasn't talking about use and abuse. It's Republic Day. I picked up intimacy because, in my view, a relationship without close connections, without that feeling that I can trust you, I can be with you, I can be safe with you, I cannot exist in a relationship. That's such a contributing, deep, valuable part of any relationship. And it begins right from the time. And I understood this well when my children were born. But even before that, when I was little, I remember my mom holding me like this. This is intimacy for me. And if I ever couldn't breathe properly, she would put her hand under my nose and say, Mera bacha, theek hai? She okay? She would put me like this and rock me to sleep. She would give me bath and a massage. Not a single person on the earth thought that was wrong. Somewhere I feel we've conditioned our mind so badly that everything we talk about intimacy becomes lovemaking. That's a better word to use than sex. But is it really making love, or is it really expressing love with trust? When I picked up the topic intimacy today, I find that basic trust and that basic love between people missing. It's not about sex education, guys, because sex education can start with your actions. We don't educate from books, and schools aren't responsible for it. That 2-hour session session on sex education can never do justice for the whole life that you show a child. In our country, you have a 16-year-old sleeping between the parents. The parents definitely have an intimacy issue. I'm talking about we have not understood the basis of our relationships. No relationship begins without a touch. And it's not the bad touch or a good touch. It's the touch that expresses love. And somewhere I'm so grateful to all of you. We've gone all over, and this is how we all go all over. Do you know medical research proves that if I touched you with love and if I gave you hugs, and we have Huggy Ma now in India, people go there just to get a hug from her. I lost my touch of hugs from my students when we were all forced into COVID. Those virtual hugs can never suffice or never give me that comfort that a real hug does. And I'm talking about the serotonin and the dopamine that I get when I hug my little Luna, my four-legged dog, my four-legged baby, that's Luna. What am I talking here about? जहां सोचना ना पड़े, there she comes. जहां सोचना ना पड़े, जहां ये भी ना महसूस हो कि ये गंध है, जहां बस प्यार ही प्यार हो, वहां पे डर ना हो, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कहीं डर की बू आ रही है. Somewhere I can hear and smell fear in everybody's language. And I want all the people on the Facebook to really think about this. It's we who are educating our children. My son asked me one day, Mom, why did you let me watch Baywatch when I was just 10? And I looked at him and said, son, when I was growing up, I would watch a few movies without my grandparents knowing. So it struck me at that time that my mom would sit very awkwardly at any intimate sexual scene that would come, and she would typically talk about the lampshade that was behind or the chaddar that was there, which made it even more awkward. And I, sitting down at that point, sat down and said, this is not working for me, Mom. I'm not going to tell you. but I don't want to repeat it again. So, Sumita, is there anything that you would go from here and add light to it? Thank you.
Yeah, very rightly said, Anu, and beautifully you have described that. When we talk about any of these things, and we go to that extreme connotation of the word, where there's a lot of beautiful movements attached to it, and I also felt when with the moment when you just said yesterday that we are going to do this, and so the first word which came to my mind was connection. So I always, and for me, any connection is a beautiful connection. So I really don't, judge it in terms of good or bad. So, and that is what I have always given to my daughter, Samaida, that, you need to make connections to people. You need to connect, even if you don't like something or you don't want to do it. Still, when you make a connection, when you feel it, when you really want to do it, that's your need, and your need definitely adds that love and magic to the whole thing. So I always feel that today when we are celebrating our 72 Republic Day, where we the younger generation, or we all of us as Indians, are we really we have that freedom to
Yes.
just get intimate, do
Yes.
we allow ourselves? And the first intimacy is to be with your own self. Are we
Perfect.
intimate with ourselves? Are we
Yes.
today, are we brave enough to stand and say I'm intimate with myself? Because unless and until you're not intimate with yourself, how can you be intimate with the other person? It's as if I'm not happy, and I'm saying no, I'll make you happy. How will I make you happy? I can't. So I this is just one piece of suggestion or information which I would like to always give on this platform. Please be intimate with yourself. That is the first step towards doing anything else in life. At whatever age you get this awareness, just go with it, and allow yourself to give that freedom to yourself, that it's okay to be intimate with my own self, and then only you can go ahead and talk about it.
Absolutely. It's almost like if I was to go and touch my laptop and carry it on my bag, I wouldn't think twice before touching it.
Yes.
But why am I
Never.
thinking so much before touching my father, my mother? Am I going to go and touch them in the wrong way? Sumita, I waited for my father to express himself to me more than 40 years. And then the opportunity came by. When he fell unwell and he couldn't talk, I couldn't communicate with him with verbal communication just finished because he wouldn't talk. So one fine day, I just went and gave him a big hug. And there I saw his surprised expression. He looked at me as if I'd done something criminal. And then I went a little ahead and gave him a kiss here. He looked even more embarrassed. The next 7 days, I did that. And because he couldn't talk too much, his actions showed me how uncomfortable he was. He didn't have to talk. You know what happened after the 10th day? If I would go home and not give him a hug and that kiss, his body language longed for it. So, me and my dad, for 10 years when he was unwell, didn't talk to each other, but we spoke with our body every day. That one kiss, that one hug, that twinkle in his eye, that toothless smile lit my
That's so
day,
beautiful.
lit my day more than anything else. And had I had hang ups, I would have never created that communication with him. Over to Dr. Rashmi.
No, I have a small incident. I remember a small incident. So this is 2021, and this incident is from 1981, and 1981-82. I must have been 10 years or 10 years at that time, and hardly would understand things because these type of things, because today children are more sharper and they are more communicative, and they have all this internet and stuff. Those days we were seeing television and Doordarshan. So something which my father's gesture, which I always remember, and recently I told him so, that you made my life. So Dad would, we were all sitting, me, my cousin, and my elder sister, we were sitting in front of a television. And there was a movie going on. I don't remember I think it was Hare Kaanch Ki Churiyan, whatever. That was the name of the movie. And we were all seeing this movie. So uh, that time they used to bring two flowers together and they used to show that they are being intimate and all that. That was all. So my father walked into the room, and my cousin and my sister started walking out of the room. Yes. Yeah. So my cousin and my sister started walking out of the room. And I was looking, I said, what the hell is happening? Why are they moving out of the room? So it was very naive. And I shouldn't say naive. I think I didn't have that stuff in my mind that something can be bad. So I just looked at them and I'm wondering, why are they moving out? So my father, when he was walking in, he said, come back, girls, sit down and sit and watch the movie with me. And 40 years, this, I mean, that was something I can relate to, is beyond, he was far beyond what do we call that? Those days were not like that. Those people who've been
Far
born
beyond his time,
far
Rashmi.
beyond his time. Thank you.
Very true, very true.
Thank you.
Because for girls to sit and watch something like with their dad, that's a big
And
thing.
we watched the whole movie with him. He said today, then I was talking to him a few days back, and he said, I just thought you were going to put in some odd stuff in your mind, put in the right stuff that is better. And that is one incident. Then there was another incident in 2012. We remember the movie Vicky Donor. So as Anu said, stuff doesn't start in school or homes. It starts everywhere for children. My daughter must have been around 5 or 6, and my son must have been 11 or 12 years. He must have been. Daughter was 7. So we had watched this movie together, and one fine day, after a few days, we were going out we were going out to have dinner. So they were fighting. One wanted to have something, one wanted to have something, and I wanted to have something else. So I told them, I said, okay, forget it. Let's go to the food court. Everybody will get his or her own fill. So my son said, Mom, you are a confused sperm. I said, no, beta, I'm a confused ova. So my daughter, who was younger, did not understand. And she said, what is a confused sperm? And then she looked at me and said, now what is a confused ova? So I had just opened my mouth to speak, and my son said, wait, Mama, let me explain it to her. I said, okay, fine, you do so. So he said, Mama, he told her, he said, see, look, when Mama's ova and Papa's sperm meet, that is the time when we form. Okay, that is the first zygote and that is the first baby. And he had learned it in school or whatever, but he had very beautifully placed it in front of my daughter. And after that, I had no issues with them. Even when she had gone through her Menarche and all, every issue we could discuss very easily. So I was so impressed by it. And this is what is intimacy.
Yes, where you can talk and fully express yourself.
Yeah.
The first story of any relationship. If I cannot speak, haven't you seen पास हो तुम मगर करीब नहीं? हो सकता है एक ही बिस्तरे पे सो रहे हो तुम, पर बात ही नहीं करी. वो इंटीमेसी है ही नहीं तुम्हारे में. इंटीमेसी सिर्फ टच से नहीं होती है. इंटीमेसी में एक दूसरे से बातचीत भी करनी पड़ती है.
Emotional component.
Two cold people sitting in one room who have not spoken with each other, even if they are husband and wife. That's not intimacy. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law sitting where mother-in-law is saying, and daughter-in-law, that's not intimacy. That's Cold War. When we talk about intimacy, we talk about how you can connect in a way that can be fun, that brings life. Your communication can kill people, or it can bring life to people. And communication is not just with touch. Your words must touch people. You must be able to, I often say this, you must be able to connect with people as if you are really touching them in the most warm manner. And that is that you can create intimacy without even physically touching them. Over to you, Archana. Archana, I'm going to call you the jumping jack of my group. So you can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, talk.
Okay, Anu, I was just remembering when Rashmi was sharing her thing. Just a minute. So I remember my younger one when she just started chumming. And there was this time I was traveling, I wasn't at home. And it was such a beautiful connect between the father and daughter. They were both outside in the market for 5-6 hours. And so beautifully, she talked to him and he bought her the SDs. And, they had a different level. Now I can understand. I think they had a different level of intimacy.
Absolutely.
And when I came back after 2 days, and then she told me, mom, this happened and we were in the market, and dad was so nice to me. And I remember, Anu, my father, I couldn't even tell him that I was chumming. If I was chumming and if I had stomach ache, I would just say I'm not feeling well. I could never tell him that I had dysmenorrhea or pain or something like that. I could never say that. But the level that my daughters are sharing with my husband, and the level that they can converse about everything, I think that's the beauty of intimacy only.
Wow. So well said, Archana. And
I
you're
mean,
right. My mom cried when I got periods, and I had miscommunication or no communication with her after that about my period. And that was the darkest phase of my life. If I couldn't talk to my mom, I obviously couldn't talk to my dad about it. It meant I'd become dirty, or I was a
exactly.
oh, anything that's going to make your child feel dirty, talk about it. Make sure that they feel beautiful and precious forever, ever, and ever. I want to share over here a little bit. I was traveling to San Francisco, and no, I wasn't traveling. Yeah, I was traveling to Providence. Sorry, and so the flight has to be to the Boston, and from there you got to take the road transport to go to Providence. Now, I'm sitting in the flight. I was mentally a little upset because of something that had happened in my life. And the plane was going like this, almost as if mimicking how I was feeling inside. This was a time when there was a gentleman standing next to me, sitting next to me. I didn't know him. He was just a fellow passenger who was sitting next to me. I was so bad that I felt as if my heart will come in my mouth. This was the time I held his hand, put my head on his shoulder, a complete stranger. And he held my hand back and reassured me that I could put my head on his shoulder and it was fine. I howled and I cried like a baby. And this wasn't really far away, it was like 2 or 3 years back. But I still remember that man holding my hand. And it felt as if there was God sitting next to me, holding me and saying, "Babes, you're going to be fine. It's just a little bit of a rock and you're going to be fine." I believe that intimacy gets created in places where we don't even realize. We can become intimate with things, with people who we don't know, and leave memories behind or carry them in our system. I didn't even know his name until today. I don't know his name. All I said was, when we were getting off the flight, because I don't know how much I puked, I don't know how he handled me, but when I got off from the flight, all I could do is look up at him and say thank you. But I meant that thank you from my heart. I'm sure we all have miracles like this of intimacy in our life. Have you ever experienced an intimate miracle in your life, Sumita?
And a lot of people touch your life in very different ways, and you really feel that, and that too same like you said, in your lowest moments, when you can't do anything about it, and you're just alone. So I have been into a lot of hospitals inside and outside for from a very young age, and like I was just, I think first time I entered hospital I was in class 9th, and that too for my gynae checkups, so it was really traumatic for me. But I still remember there was this I was in one of the premier institutes of India in PGI, and undergoing a gynae checkup. At that young age I didn't even understand, I have pain and somebody is doing a checkup and you don't really know why this is happening. So somehow I had to understand and sit and do it. So but I still remember there was this nurse who just, because even my mom was not allowed inside, so there was this nurse whose hand she said, okay, you can hold my hand, it's okay, I know you are, the doctor didn't tell me anything, but she was just behind me, I was lying down and she was just telling me what's going to happen. For me, I'm a person, if you tell me what's going to happen, you can really like I should know what's going to happen, because that's a lot of curiosity and fear in me. So I still remember she was with me all through, and I don't know her name, I don't this thing, but just when you said that nurse just flashed in front of my eyes, and I was like, I was in tears. And then she told my mom also, you take care of her, it's okay, she's too young to undergo this. I was so amazed that this nurse is feeling so much, the doctor didn't feel anything, but she did her job, and she just treated me like one of her next patients. So this nurse was so sweet to me that till date this is something that really touched me at such a young age. So
Thank you. And she created an intimate relationship with Sumita at that point in her life.
yes.
So, Rashmi, have you ever had an intimate miracle?
Anu, that I remember two of them right now. One is when you mentioned about the flight. I was flying from here to Sydney, and my son was about a year and a half, and he was a hyper child. So it was very difficult to handle him at that time. The children are like that. So on the flight, I was promised that I will get my stroller back on the door when at Hong Kong, and so they had taken my stroller. So when I got down at Hong Kong I mean, I had to take another flight from there. So there was a gap of, I think, 5 hours. I needed the stroller. I asked them, I said, my stroller. They said, you will get it in Sydney. And I had a big bag of about 15 kgs and another purse of about 2.5 kgs and another baby with me. And I was lean and thin, just 47 kgs myself. So I didn't know how to, and the child would not walk. He would want, and where do I carry this? And in those days, we didn't have those stroller bags also. So we, we used to carry those bags here. And I didn't know what to do. I just looked at her and tears were rolling out from my eyes and I didn't know what to do. And suddenly a man walked up, an Indian man. I remember his name. His name was Mr. Kishore, and he was based in Hong Kong. And he walked in and he said, may I help you? I said, no, 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 I'm okay. He said, I think you need help. I said, yeah, I need my stroller. He said, but why do you need your stroller? I said, I'm supposed to stay here 5 hours and I don't know how to put these things on me and walk. So he said, okay. He asked those the authorities, the Air India authorities. They denied. So he walked up to the Hong Kong authorities and told them that this lady needs this stroller right now. So I got my stroller, and when he walked with me till one place, and then he told the authorities, please ask this lady, let her work be done faster. Then he said, I can take you to my place, but my place is too far off. I said, no, I'm so happy. I just needed this help. Thank you so much. I still remember him every day, and I try to, I mean, bless him every day. Okay, that was a gesture which really touched my heart. Another gesture was a very weird one. I was traveling from Bangalore about 10 years back, 11 years back, to the airport. So the airport is a bit far off in Bangalore, and I was absolutely new to Bangalore. I boarded a taxi, and in that cab, that man asked me, "What time is your flight?" I said, "It's at 8:30." He said, "Ma'am, you are late, and it's already 8. We'll get stuck in the traffic." So I don't know what happened. He took another detour route. So when he took that detour route, uh, suddenly, after dusk, it was dark. So he was just the cab was going, and only my cab was going, and there was no other car on the road. So he moved towards one place, and there was a construction going on. He halted the cab over there, and then he went and asked people, "There was a road over here. Where is it?" So those people at the village said, "No, no, there's a construction going on. You will have to go 20 kilometers ahead, then come back 20, and then you will hit the airport road, and you'll have something like that." So we had to take a U-turn and come back about 20 kilometers, and I was damn scared. I was just calling up friends and talking and trying to be very bold. Nothing happened. So, and when we went on this road, there was absolutely, कहते हैं ना, बंदा ना बंदे की जान, and a jungle, and I was all alone. So sitting there and in the taxi, quiet and talking to people. The moment we hit the airport road, the taxi wala said, "Ah, okay," and then he asked me, "Now you must not be scared." So the first thought I thought, I will tell him, "No, no, no, I am not scared at all. What are you saying?" But then I told him, I said, "Honestly, I was scared to death, but thank you so much." He said, "I was also scared because I thought, I have to take you to you might not miss your flight. And simultaneously, I wanted you to be safe." So
Absolutely.
that
That when someone understands you without you talking, when someone touches your heart and knows what's exactly going on within you, that's intimacy, guys. Why do we make intimacy so dirty? So, over to Dr. Archana Kumar. Have you ever been touched by intimacy miracle?
Anu, there's so many of them.
Just one.
So many. Yeah, I know. Just one teacher in my school. I think I was in junior school that time. And I remember falling down from the swing, and it was like chutti time. Everybody was running to just get their bags. Just remember that time in the school when the last bell has rung, everybody is running to the class, and nobody is even concerned about one small child who was there on the swings in the park, and she's left all alone. And the only way that teacher realized that I hadn't gone home was my cycle in the parking lot, in the school parking lot. And she didn't know it was my cycle. For her, it was just one student whose cycle was there. And Anu, it was already an hour past that the school had gone, and I was all alone in the ground. And for some reason, partially I had fainted after falling because I had something hit on my head. So nobody really realized. I was probably the only child, or the children were too small to realize that I was there. This teacher, realizing the cycle being there, called up, the guard. The guard and there's another lady attendant in this small, children's primary section. They all went around looking for me all through the school. And when they found me in the garden, which was, on the other side of the school, I was so small that at that time we were in the Air Force station, but I didn't know the contact number for my parents or anything. I just knew my parents' name. That's it. And then they opened the principal office, found out the records, and then my parents came after an hour and a half. They didn't know that I had a head injury or anything like that had happened. And it could have just been ignored. I could have just been left there. But for that teacher's sincerity, an hour and a half after the dressing and everything, I reached home, and then my parents were informed. I mean, I was like so scared, Anu. I had peed there in my dress. Anything and everything that you can imagine could have happened to a kid had happened to me.
Thank you, Archana. And
Yeah.
what it is, जब आपके लिए कोई ध्यान दे, and we think we control life, we think we control it.
No, never.
You know, amazing. There was someone beyond us watching us. There was
Always.
somebody who was sitting next to me, holding my hand. There was somebody who was holding Sumita's hand at that time, giving her a glance on that day that was most difficult, and telling her, "Don't worry." She was creating the most intimate relationship with Sumita on that day that she would remember even after so many years. That man who could see that Rashmi was actually scared and didn't petrify her more and realized that she was naive, she was new, and everything, and did not take advantage of her. That watchman and that teacher who actually never let you go and didn't let you die over there or just lie down in the pool of blood. These are miracles of intimacy, guys. And we somewhere have, I think, not looked at our intimacy in the most pleasant way. These are the sharing stories that we must tell our children, that there is a world full of people who touch your life and touch you in a way that is the most intimate way that not even the family member around you can touch you. With this note, on the 26th of January, that's our Republic Day, I am hoping that we can spread more smiles and more understanding around difficult topics. And today we picked up a difficult topic like intimacy. Before I say goodbye to all of you and we meet again, maybe every Saturday, if my group over here is happy to do so. Um, I would like each one of you to say what you felt when you were hearing other people's experiences and share. Have you changed the idea of intimacy or does it remain the same dirty taboo topic? Oh, sex ही है. Oh, मैंने अपने बच्चे को सिखाया था. Oh, I was so liberal or to I was not. Or is it about beyond that? Is it about कोई तो तुमको ऐसे छू गया, कोई तो तुम्हारे दिल में ऐसी धड़कन लगा गया कि तुमने भी नहीं सोचा था कि तुम इस तरीके से बैठ के स्माइल कर सकोगे या ऐसे धड़कन सुन सकोगे. Over to Sumita.
Yes, definitely intimacy is connected to safety, connection, those precious moments, where life just made you more happy, more thoughtful about. And definitely, when you give this to the younger generation, when you pass on this even to your friend, even to your people around you, and you develop that trust in them, because nowadays we all need that assurance from everybody around us that everything is all is well, you know so the all is well is, you feel that all is well from anybody, be it a stranger, be it somebody whom you don't even know. So that intimate, that is creating intimacy. And sometimes I think that we need to be more flexible to create that intimacy. If we are so rigid in our thoughts, if we are so blocked in our ways, we don't allow people to touch us. We don't allow people to come near us. And it's okay to open up and talk, and come on platforms like this, like you have given opportunity to all of us, that we at least can share. And definitely I'm sure, listening to each one of us right now has definitely changed my viewpoint about being more thoughtful about intimacy. And whatever I had that thought, it made me more clearer about the perspective, what you can see intimacy in so many more ways. Why we just connect one word to only one topic.
Thank you so much, Sumita. Over to Dr. Rashmi. You're muted, my dear.
Thank you. I absolutely agree with Sumita. It's we who has attached a negative connotation to such a beautiful word or a beautiful gesture, I should put in, because a gesture is more than words any day. So if we teach our children how to accept this gesture and how to give this, they will be able to give it more freely if we teach them how to accept it. Or in fact, why children? So like Sumita earlier also said, intimacy is between me. So we'll have to teach ourselves to accept that gesture. And when we accept that gesture, we'll be giving more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Archana.
Anu, first of all, the only thing that I feel is that we teach so easily to our children and everybody not to trust. We need to learn to be open to trust, have faith, and teach them that they can trust anything and everything. Don't be blind, but we cannot teach them not to trust. I think subconsciously we were putting that in our children, that world is bad and people are bad and this is bad and bad things will happen to you. Knowingly or unknowingly, we were doing that. I feel from today's learning, it's the most beautiful thing that I am picking up, taking and giving to my children, that we need to trust ourselves and the world and the universe. We can't be naive, we can't not be careful, but we should not lose the trust.
यहाँ
That's
एक
very
गाना
important.
याद आ रहा है यार मुझे,
बोलो बोलो, जरूर.
Please.
आ रहा हो तो किसी का साथ तुमको अपना
Absolutely.
सहारा मिल जाएगा, कश्ती कहीं डूबती बचा लो, क्या था, किनारे पे तुमको अपने आप ही किनारा मिल जाएगा.
किनारा मिल जाएगा.
So the point is, आप किसी को किनारा दिखाते दिखाते, when you are showing someone that kindness, that empathy, that love, that affection, you go out of your way, you walk 2 miles to be with that person, empower people. And more than empowering people, a wise woman told me, how can you empower anyone, Anu? It's about power. And I
Yes.
agree. I cannot empower anyone. It's about power. What I need to do is be humble. Like a tree of mango, the more mangoes that come on that tree, jhuk jata hai, it bends down. And humbleness makes people bend down. And that bending down is a very intimate moment, because that's the time that the branches of the tree touch the ground. And that touch, that horizon where the sea and the sky meet, that's intimacy. That love that the mother is having with the child, and that my mom was holding me like this and saying, Beta, I love you. Or my father on the last day touching my hand and saying, I love you. That's intimacy for me. Do write to us what's intimacy for you. And if you liked what we did today, do let us know, because your feedback is very, 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 very important. आप बताएंगे तो हमें पता लगेगा ना, तभी तो हम इंटीमेसी क्रिएट करेंगे एक दूसरे के साथ. Bye. See you guys.
Definitely.
See you. Have a
Thank you.
great day. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Anu.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you, everybody.